Let's talk about human nature when it comes to opinions and likes, dislikes, philosophies, strongly held beliefs and convictions. Human nature is such that we want to share those beliefs, those truths that we have learned. And if you have escaped from a controlling group, then your likes, your behavior, your opinions may have radically changed. And you may have learned some new truths recently. And sometimes it's hard not to bring it up. We want to talk about it. Sometimes it's hard not to push our newfound beliefs or understandings towards other people. Now, most of the time, I think that we probably, we do that in a appropriate way. But sometimes what happens is after we leave the Watchtower cult or any other controlling cult, we tend to go the opposite direction. And that's normal. Steve Hassan, in his book on combating cult mind control, he made the comment, he said, if you were in a religious cult, then you get out of it and you will have an aversion for religion. Or you may have an aversion towards religion if you got out of a religious cult. He mentioned the same thing with psychotherapy or any kind of therapy, because there's therapy cults, and some psychologists and therapists actually control their clients and extort and control them for money, sex, power, whatever. It happens. So the example in Steve's book was how there was a lady that had gotten out of a therapy cult, and he suggested to her that she get some therapy. And she said, that's the last thing I need. And then that's when he mentioned that point about how, well, if you get out of a therapy cult, you're going to have an aversion towards therapy. I mean, it's only common sense, right? So for those of us that are on JW Struggle and those of us that are on other ex-JW websites and YouTubes, chances are that many of us, a lot of us, are going to have an aversion to religion. Now, that's all well and good, and some of us will overcome that, and we may end up attending a church or becoming some brand of Christian or some brand of Buddhist or whatever religion you like. You name it. And I think that if that's helping you, if it's helping you as a person, if it's making you be a better husband or wife or father, mother, son, daughter, friend, person, then that's great. I think I don't have to step in and say, oh, you shouldn't join another church. See, because sometimes we want to do that. We're religious cult survivors, and we want to step in and say, no, you don't want to do that. And again, I started out mentioning human nature, right? Human nature is that you want to disseminate what you've learned. You want to talk and tell others what your truth is. Maybe you're an agnostic now. You just say, you know what, I don't think God's really, provable. He's not disprovable or provable. Maybe he's busy right now. Maybe he's off creating another universe, and that's what I think. Maybe you want to go farther and say, I'm an atheist. I think God was just something that we invented, when we were superstitious and when we were primitives. And every culture in the world has God myths, and we're no different. Well, that's okay too. If that works for you, thumbs up. If it works for you, That's great. I guess the problem that sometimes we have is somebody starts to tell us, you know, you just need to go a little farther. You're almost there. And we don't want to be told what to do anymore. You know, if you were in the Jehovah's Witness religion for 20 years, or you were a Mormon or a Scientologist or a extreme Seventh-day Adventist or one of these groups, you don't want to be told what to believe anymore. So I do find that, you know, sometimes annoying, I guess. You know, people mean well, but they'll put a comment on my channel or on jwstruggle.com, and they'll say, you know, you've gotten out of the religion, you've gotten away from the watchtower, now you need to go a little farther, and you need to just give up this flying spaghetti monster, which is a pejorative term that some atheists will use for people that believe in God, right? Or for God in general. Well, you know what, my friends? If somebody respects and loves and believes in God, I'm not going to tell them they need to go farther. That's offensive. It's none of my business. Now, if they ask me, if they specifically ask me, what should I do? Well, you know, maybe I'll answer them then. But I'm still not going to. I'm going to preface any kind of comment with the fact that I'm just some guy. I am not Einstein. I am not Ray Franz. I'm just a guy. So if you want my opinion on something, you know, sometimes I'll give it to you. Some people email me and they have all these deep Bible questions, doctrinal questions. You're probably not going to get a lot of an answer out of me unless you really, really, you know, feel like you need to, you know, get an answer. And I'll try to give you something, but I just feel like you probably already know the answer for yourself. And you're better off just figuring it out for yourself. Listen to me, listen to Mike and Kim, listen to Cedars, read books, get online, you know, go to all these places, join the fray. You've got all that in your mind, and your subconscious works on it. You're going to figure it out. You don't need me. You don't need any of those other people. You know, that's the thing, is we can be grown-ups. We don't need some other body of men or women or anybody telling us whether we can go to jury duty or not, or whatever the case may be. So if something's working for somebody, I just feel like we shouldn't disparage it. We can simply agree to disagree. I could personally say, I'm never going to join some church. I'm never going to view religion with the same reverence or holiness that I did when I was a, you know, hardcore, you know, super exemplary JW elder and Bethelite and pioneer and all that stuff that I was. And sometimes it feels like another life. It feels like I've been reincarnated and I've had a second chance, and I'm thankful for that. So I'm not going to expect anybody to, you know, to be told what to do or to tell others what to do. It's just, there's no place for it. There's no need for it. And I think that if we all just respect each other's beliefs, you know, we can just carry on and we can be happy, and we don't have to get hung up on, you need to go a little farther, or it's such a pity that now he's a lost soul because he's left the twoof, but he still doesn't have God or Jesus, or, you know what, that's, to me, that's just as bad as an atheist trying to call someone names because they believe in God. If you think that every agnostic or atheist is a lost soul, and you pity them, and you're verbalizing that, you know, and you're trying to convert them or something, I think it's the same problem, just from the other side of the fence. So, you know, getting along with one another that's a good part of any spirituality. treating others kindly, trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, and just let people be. You know, learning that people have their own truth. You have your truth, I have my truth. They're not mutually exclusive. This whole myth that the Watchtower has cultivated, that there can only be, you know, one truth, and they have these, you know, these ridiculous false arguments, false analogies where they say either the sky is blue or it's red. It can't be both. And then they turn around and try to equate that with either God is a Trinity or he's not a Trinity. And for you Christian folks, I love you, I respect you, but don't get into debates. Or wait, I'm already doing it myself. It would be nice if you didn't get into debates with people about the Trinity or about the soul, or, you know what, share your viewpoint, or the end times, chronologies, whatever. Share your viewpoint. Share your faith. But don't turn it into an argument. Don't try to force somebody to, you know, to fix their, you know, their theological mistakes. Because, see, that's what we did when we were in the wash towel. That's what we did when we were pio-sneering. We tried to just pop everybody's bubble and tell everybody that we were right and they were wrong. And no matter how you want to dress it up. So I don't want to do that anymore. And I hope that those of you listening will try to get, you know, over that if that's something that's still holding you up. Clear that Watchtower baloney out of your head. Just clear it right out. And when Jesus said stop judging in the Sermon on the Mount, it don't matter if you're an atheist or not. I mean, that's just good advice. The Sermon on the Mount just has a lot of good advice in it. I love the Sermon on the Mount. I love what Jesus said in there, or whoever wrote it down and attributed it to Jesus, because I don't want to debate that either. The point is that that is one of the most sensible, wonderful things that's ever been written. Matthew 5, 6, and 7 is one of the most beautiful things that's ever been written. And there's a lot of wisdom there. It don't matter. To me, that's not religion. It's a way of life. It's a philosophy. It's a way of thinking. It's the golden rule, right? Just treating others the way you want to be treated. So, yeah, let's just do that, you know. And if you want to contact me, email me, jwstruggle@gmail.com. Please don't YouTube message me. YouTube messages are just a pain in the rear end. It's fake email, and I have to click 12 things just to access it. So the best way to get a hold of me is email me. Please be patient with me if it takes me a while to get back to you. I will try my best. Take care. Have an awesome day.
The order is rapidly fading, for the times they are a-changing.